Try new things.
We're gonna go to Truth or Shot with that. We're gonna go to Truth or Shot.
Now Danny wants to talk. Okay, Danny.
We're gonna go to Truth or Shot with that one.
Okay, go for it.
Goddamn.
Did he touch your nipples? Ask me. We're going there. Bless your heart. Welcome. I want to thank you all with immense gratitude for spending time with me. This is a podcast where we dive deep into the real, raw, and often taboo conversations about culture, relationships, and intimacy. We keep it honest, insightful, and full of humor, creating a space where nothing is off limits. Think of it as your late night conversations with your posse. At its core, the Fully Erect podcast is about empowerment, giving people the confidence to own their desires, communicate openly in their relationships, and break free from outdated stigmas. So join me. We're breaking barriers and breaking stereotypes. Welcome to Fully Erect Podcast. This is Pineapple Jenn, and she is somebody that we wanted to have on about talking about love. Can you have love and be a swinger? Or are you just never going to find love? Are people comfortable with talking about this subject matter? We don't know. We're going to find out today. This is Pelly. She came to join us today, too.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you again, Pelly.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
No pun intended. Mm-hmm. So, Jenn, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what you do, where you came from.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm super excited.
You should be.
Yeah, I am. I am from Mesquite, Texas.
So you're local.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the deal. We invited you on because we wanted to have you on. Yeah. Because you were kind of have a topic that is kind of one of those taboo topics for the pure reason that people don't really like to talk about the word or sex in general.
Right.
Like it's kind of awkward for people.
Right.
So we wanted to have you on because we feel like you could bring to the table maybe people opening their minds a little bit.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I am an open swinger on TikTok and other platforms. And,
you are? Well, then you're fine.
And
you don't have to talk about yourself. You can just talk about what you do. Go right into it.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about your personal life, but you want to say.
Yeah, I could say a little bit about my personal life, but
Well, I'm just curious. What I'm curious is, like, what started this? Like, what made you decide, I'm going to go out and do this? Or have you always had would you say it's a fetish?
Yes.
Okay.
Or a kink, or I don't know the difference between the two.
No, I think they're the same.
I don't know, but yes.
Okay.
I was married really young.
Okay.
And we were together for about 20 years. And
that long?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the time I was 14 until I was 33. So
that's the...
Yeah. I had children very young. I didn't get to experience the things that most young adults experience. So,
that's right.
So if you're 14, how old was he?
16.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
No, we were children. We were
Yes.
children. We were
Yes.
children having kids. I was a freshman in high school. He was a sophomore. We got married. We built a beautiful life.
20 years is a long time.
Yeah, we had several businesses. It was great until it wasn't. And in that marriage, we did dabble some, but we just went to events and performed.
So when you say dabble, who's was it your curiosity or his? Okay.
I always wanted to see. Okay, first of all, let me just say I like women and men. Sexually, I'm sexually attracted to men and women.
So you're bisexual?
I am bisexual.
Cool.
I've never had a relationship with a woman, but in the bedroom, I can appreciate a pretty girl. So.
But do you prefer one or the other?
I prefer men. I prefer.
I figured most. Yeah, I got you. A dom.
Yeah,
I got you.
I do, and I do.
Yeah, I prefer a man too.
Yeah, I prefer that. But I can also like appreciate a beautiful woman.
Well, yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, yes, they're beautiful. Their bodies are beautiful.
Yeah, you've always said that.
Well, yeah, I think especially if you're talking about like porn.
Yeah.
Because female porn, I'm sorry.
No.
Y'all are unrealistic.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to imagine, the girl on girl is a little hotter. I think it's a little more girl realistic.
Yeah, when I was younger, I only watched girl on girl. Yeah. I don't watch porn.
No,
I'm not a porn person.
No, I make it.
There you go. And and that's what I think so intriguing about you. I mean, it's one of the most important. I feel like it's a subject matter that like people just don't talk about. Like in my regular friend group, I guess because now they would say it. Friends would say it. Oh, they're swingers. Or they're swingers. He was always said.
But how do you know
derogatory.
the person that says, "Oh, they're swingers"?
I don't know.
How
They
do
hear
you
it.
know?
They hear it from other people.
Whoever told you there were swingers, they're swingers too. Okay.
That's
or they've dabbled in
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Because
Like, how else would you
somebody
know?
else is saying
Yes,
that the people
how
in
else
the
would you
neighborhood-
know?
Yes.
Swingers are very private.
Great.
Interesting.
I love, that's so good
Swingers
to know.
are very private. I know
Are they?
mayors. I know doctors. I know lots of big people. I would never tell you their name. I would never.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No.
They're very private. I'm just not. And I do have some friends that they allow me to take pictures, and they allow for them to be on my TikTok and things that I do. Yeah, but like most swingers are very private. They don't want nobody to know. So if you're there, you know who everybody is, and
So it's like you sign an NDA, like a non-disclosure.
No,
or,
I mean,
or is it a trust
no.
issue? It's like
no,
basically
it's a
I'm
trust.
having a
Yeah,
party.
it's a mutual respect thing.
Yeah. And they still have that
Yeah.
going on. People
Oh.
still mutually good.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I don't have a lot of. I haven't experienced a lot of drama in the lifestyle.
No, really?
Yeah, just one.
That's interesting.
One particular person. She was actually my roommate for a while, and we were both unicorns. And
Tell me what a unicorn is.
A unicorn
I
is
love a good unicorn. Remember when we were kids?
I love
That was my
unicorns.
favorite. It still is.
You know
I
what's
love,
funny
you
about
love
this?
love a
So you want
unicorn.
to hear a
She
funny
loved
story?
them.
As
I
a
did.
child, I collected carousels.
Carousels.
I collected unicorns.
You know,
And
and
This
the
is
way
what I
you're
do.
laughing.
This is what I do.
Wait, okay, but wait. When you say you collected them, you had like many in a closet, like the carousels.
The carousels,
like Mary Poppins.
the ones that
Oh, the
Carousel.
little
Carousel.
Carousel. Oh, like kids ride.
Carousels.
Like we ride.
Yes, I
A
collected
carousel.
those. I had them all
But
over
they go
my
up and down.
room. Yes.
The little horses.
Yes.
Some have
Okay.
unicorn.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
That is funny. And
It
then the
is funny.
unicorn.
Yeah,
So tell us
so-
what a unicorn means. Like, what's the reference of that?
It's typically a bisexual female.
She's willing
Single
to play with
female.
couples is how I kind
Yeah,
of read that.
yeah.
Oh, but it's single.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Most of the time it's single. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're with married couples too? Do married couples?
I am.
Okay.
So, at times.
Okay.
I am. It just depends on my mood.
But do you find like a party? Like, how does this work? Like you.
Yeah. So in the Dallas area, there are 3 different clubs. Yeah.
That,
So,
I was I saw a podcast where they have them in San Francisco.
There's a more private club. But for the last 4 years, I was in Central California. And so there was you had to drive all the way to San Francisco or down to LA.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-hour drive, north or south to get to a club. So in Central California, everyone had house parties. So in Central California, I know all the hosts in Fresno, Clovis area.
Really?
Yeah, I know them all very well. Yeah, and people come, show. Sometimes there's a show, sometimes there's not.
What's a show like? You would have like someone dancing.
No, like there would be people having sex.
So can you walk and ding dong? I'm here. You walk in the door, and is everybody nude?
Absolutely not.
Okay, it's not like that.
It's not like
So
that.
everybody's dressed nice.
Everyone's
we have perfume
dressed.
on. We're
Okay,
shaved right. We look good.
Let's backtrack.
Got a
okay?
trim really good.
We're still.
Yeah, I think-
just because someone is a swinger, it doesn't mean like they're this sex craved lunatic.
Yeah, I think that's where there's.
But that's where there's this-
a lot of
there's
misconception.
Even the clubs, when you go to the clubs, it's a regular club. Of course, it's BYOB because in the state of Texas, you can't have naked people and alcohol. You know what I mean?
Oh, so there's actually naked
So-
people in this club because they're going into these rooms, right?
Yeah, if you get to those areas, but these clubs are like normal clubs. They're regular clubs. You go in. There's a bar.
I gotta go.
There's a dance
I gotta
floor.
check this out.
I will take you.
Do you have to be a swinger to go, or would they be like, "What
No,
is she
you
doing?"
can go and be a voyeur.
Oh, that's
Yes.
weird, Pally. I don't want to be
Well,
a
what
voyeur.
else are you there for?
Well, that's rude.
Are you
You
participating?
don't go
It is
and
not
just
rude.
look at people.
Voyeurism is a real fetish or kink.
people
however you wanna
like
say
to be
that.
looked
A lot of
at.
people
I
like to
like
be
to
looked
be
at, and some people like to
Oh,
watch.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is so.
Okay, so in the
Beautiful.
club,
you're very
Hey,
confident.
this is fascinating. I'm fascinated.
Okay.
I think this is a good time to introduce our first little game of the night. We're going to do truth
We
or
always
shot.
do this because we think we need to get closer with the audience or the guests, but we're very close to you now, so we don't really need to, but we're going to.
We're going
Let's
to.
do it. We like to do it because Danny, it makes him feel like he's doing something. And he's going to ask a
I think
question.
it's a really interesting way to spark a
It is.
fun conversation.
It
with
is.
people.
Yeah.
But I have like 50 questions I want to ask her because I'm so
gonna get there.
intrigued by this.
yeah.
You know what intrigues me about this is that she is like, okay, so I got to ask you a question just because it's my person. From 1 to 10, How do you feel about yourself? From a 1 to a 10, how do you feel personally, confidently about
20.
yourself?
A 20.
I freaking love that.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's the goal.
I love who I am inside. I'm a really good person. I'm kind to people. I treat people with respect. I don't go around talking ugly about. I just worry about me. And
yeah, that's good.
No,
but I love the fact that you could just. I don't know. I mean, I'm so worried about like, oh my gosh, even with my husband, it's like, turn the lights.
I have a daughter.
Turn the lights off. But like,
girl,
it's just
I'm like, turn them on.
Seriously,
No,
you're
I-
very confident.
Yes.
Well, you're
That's
a
amazing.
10
Hold on real
or
quick,
a
'cause-
12 or a 14, and there's nothing cooler than that. Like, that's an attraction that people are like, okay, that's confident.
I'm like, I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, Kel.
Oh, help me, dear Lord. Help me.
I love that because I feel the same way about like.
Yourself.
Well, no, I'm not about to talk about myself, Kel.
Okay, Danny, sometimes you like to.
But there's such a stigma between sexually free people and whether or not they're a good fucking person.
Yeah.
No, I
You
don't
know what
like
I'm
it. There's a
saying?
stigma,
Yeah.
and or a godly, or even like, let's bring God into it, or a godly person,
Hey,
or
I
that
was-
you believe that there's a higher being or higher power. They
I
think
was
there's
raised
like a
Southern
stigma.
Baptist. I believe in God and Jesus, and
Yep.
you know what? They don't want us hurting each other or lying to each
No,
other
they
or
don't.
betraying.
No.
You know
No,
what I mean?
It's like everybody you can do all the shitty shit in the world except don't be sexually free. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
that.
the only thing that we
Yes.
were given free.
Screw
like
that.
that's how we were all created.
That's why that's why everyone is married in miserable,
miserable.
marriages. They are miserable.
no one's communicating.
They hate each other.
Yes.
The husband's over here doing this all day long because his wife won't,
Touch him.
try new things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Let him put it in the butt once. Like,
All right,
try
with that,
new
we're-
things.
We're gonna go
it in the
to
butt.
we're gonna go to truth or
Only
shot
one
with
time.
that. We're gonna go to truth or shot.
Yeah.
Now Danny wants to talk. Okay, Danny.
We're gonna go to truth or shot with that one.
Okay, go for it.
Goddamn.
And GD.
All right, so truth or shot is where we're gonna ask a couple questions. Okay, we just got 2 questions today, and you can either answer the question, and you have to answer truthfully.
You're asking each one of us or just our guests?
You're all
Nothing
answering
better.
the same question.
Okay.
You're all answering the same question.
Ooh, who
You
gets to
can
do it first?
Either answer truthfully, or take a shot.
take a shot.
All right.
I say your guest goes
Or
first.
take a sip.
I'll
We
go
can take
first.
whatever we
I'll go
want.
first.
All right.
I sip, I don't shoot.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so
See, this 10 out of 20 girl, this girl that's way above average wants to go first.
I am average.
Well, your
I just
confidence
think
level,
that
I love your
just
confidence
think
level.
that
Your parents did
I'm-
something. It's impressive. Okay, go. I want to hear.
all right.
Okay.
So first question. First question is: was there ever a time that you were surprised by size, either big or small?
Absolutely. Yes.
Do
There
tell.
was.
Do tell.
So she's just going right for it.
Okay, this has nothing to do with lifestyle. I had a friend for a really long time. Well, her brother was very attractive, and
Her brother was very attractive.
no, he was. He was
Nice.
always single, and I was like, "That's weird." Well, one night he was like, "Hey, you want to come over?" And I was like, "Okay." This is like
We're just
when I was
friends.
newly single. It was literally the size of my pinky. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, "Whoa!"
You know
and
what
then-
that's called?
It's a micro penis.
Yeah, a micro
Yeah, it
penis.
was a micro penis.
Poor
It was my
guy.
first time to ever experience it. I was like,
Oh,
I didn't know what to do. So he had like, can I say these things? Can
You
I
can
say,
say
what we did?
whatever you
We're fully
want.
erect.
So like he went down on me and then he pulls on his pants and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I felt terrible because I was
because
just
you're
like,
a kind person. I can feel it. So
no,
what you do.
no. I was like, oh, okay. And then like he tried to like put it in and like, listen, homegirl's fat down there, okay? Like,
Oh my
listen, okay? You can have something.
I love it.
So he couldn't even get it. And it was.
So
and
were you of an
that
age
poor
where like
thing.
you were manipulating and trying to help the situation, and like, what does that?
Well, they're
you
good at other
can't.
stuff.
There's nothing to
So
do.
you should've
There's nothing
just-
about. It's so and he's
Does
like,
it not get more erect, or does
not
it,
at all. It was literally the size of my pinky.
I don't know that they have an
Like,
erect. I don't
it
think
was in
micros-
my mouth, and it literally
Your
felt
mouth?
like it literally felt like a gummy bear. I was like,
Wait. So you're like thinking,
Gummy worm.
where is
because
it?
they get small. You know what I mean? But
can
then when you
shrink up.
put
You know,
them in your
there's-
mouth,
there's
they'll get
growers,
bigger.
Yes.
there's
You know what I
growers,
mean?
and there's showers.
growers and showers?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Micros
There
don't
was
grow.
nothing. He
They
couldn't.
don't grow.
And what was crazy about it is he's like, all of his exes cheated. Sir, what?
Wait.
Sir?
He didn't say that to you.
Yes. And I was like, I'm like,
You
well,
should
what
have, as a good
happened with
friend,
you and
put
your
the
ex?
pants put back
And I'm
buttons.
thinking, he didn't allow toys, things like that. And I'm like, what?
Wait.
Wow.
Wait. You went past another date with him after realizing?
No, we just like talked that night or whatever.
you had to talk because there was nothing
Yeah,
going on.
because I was just like, this is not going to
So
work.
you didn't
you
run
like-
out. You didn't stop the interaction.
But it made me realize, what do you mean? Oh yeah, I
did he-
stopped it. Like,
So nothing-
Were you doing
nothing.
that face you're doing?
I was just like, it's like,
I mean,
yeah,
did you
this
leave
isn't
and
gonna
hurt his
work.
feelings, or did
no,
you talk
every
it out?
person,
No,
every
no.
girl says
just
that.
asking.
Every
No,
girl that's
I would
not into
never
micropenis
do that
says,
to
this
anyone.
just isn't gonna work. Every girl.
All right.
says
With that being said,
Like Samantha on Sex and the City.
Kelly,
Okay, your turn.
your turn. It's your turn.
Thanks for
I
sharing.
don't know,
It is
man.
your
I
turn.
think I'm passing, man.
You want to take a shot?
Take a shot.
You got to
Take
take the shot.
Take a shot.
Well, I am
Shot,
gonna-
Shot,
I'm
shot,
gonna-
shot, shot,
Well,
shot.
can I say one thing? Does it have to be that I saw one or
I love
did
how
one?
she asked for my
I
permission.
just like I've said in my past, and the reason why I always want to bring people onto these shows and do this is because I don't know everything, right? Like I'm in my 50s and I'm still learning and I'm
Yes.
still challenged and I'm still like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Not that I may not do any of it, but I want to know. Like I didn't know there was a thing of micro penises,
Oh, I didn't
but I
either.
do know.
Yeah.
I
now.
didn't until then. Yeah.
And I am going to take a shot to
It's a
that
real
because I'm going to
thing.
try to stay focused on
It's
my
a real thing,
podcast. And
yes.
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I know it is.
I have more.
And I
to
don't want
s-
to make fun
I have
of it.
I have
I just
more
wanna
to
say
say
it's
about
not
this.
probably my deal.
I have more to say about this later, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when we
Good.
get
We'll
to
do
the
that.
second
For,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so my
Cheers.
turn. Yes, I was surprised by size also. This was after my divorce, second divorce. This really the first guy I was with after divorce. And we had a really good sex life. So I was like, you kind of, you go back to the horse that you've been riding. Like you're going,
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah.
same moves, you're trying to. Like,
Because
that's
you've
what
been
you do.
married.
Yeah, trust me, I know, girl.
So when I reached down, and I always cupped the balls. It was just something I did. I mean, and when I cupped them, I mean, they were.
Microballs. Wait. Oh, so now I'm learning today.
could've
There's
been on
microballs
steroids.
too.
It was like
Kelly,
two little
like
pecans or
He could have
something.
been on
Walnuts,
steroids. Steroids does that. I don't know if the piece was.
I mean, his penis was fine, good. I mean,
But
nothing.
no good sack.
Yeah.
But like you touch and then you cut, and I was like,
So
it
there was none of
stopped
this
me.
going on
I
with
had
your-
to really recover.
I
don't think
guarantee
he
you.
ever thought that, but then I never touched him again.
Was he really fit? and
Are you
stuff?
into Are you into balls?
Was he in a gym a lot? That is a big thing
No,
with gym goers.
I would not say.
I know it
that.
is.
And testosterone.
And
They're on
testosterone.
No.
Yes, they have little bitty.
I don't think so.
Little bitty.
No. Don't say
No.
little bitty. It just shrinks up a little bit.
It
'cause it
does,
takes
Yeah.
but it's a myth. It does
I
not
would
shrink
take
their penis.
testosterone in a
Right.
man
But
way than a limp penis.
But my experience, your experience.
I mean, yes.
to that point,
Come fully
had
erect
never
or don't
had
come at all.
that had never been an issue. Everything's always proportionate. That
Right.
had been my first experience, and it was like touching a hot stove or something. I
You're like, whoa.
Jerked my hand back, and I was like, that's like little kid balls or something.
Oh, Pelly, no.
It was weird.
Pelly,
Yeah,
no.
that's where we draw the
So I'm
line.
gonna have a truth and a
That's
shot.
like that. That's
now
like
my
that micro
armpits are
penis.
sweating.
I think we should all have a shot to that one. I think we should all get on drinking. Woo!
Oh, that was awesome, guys. That was
You know what,
awesome.
Pelly? I appreciate you sharing. That's the joy of this. Is like the people just don't want to talk about these crazy stories, and I
Right.
think that's what's so beautiful about it. Because none of us can. Like we grew up in a generation, we would never be able to go to our mothers and say, "Mom, is this normal? Mom, is this okay?"
Right.
And don't forget, we couldn't Google it.
Oh,
You
no.
can Google
You might can
micro
find a-
penis now.
Yeah.
You knew who's
I did. I
dad or
Googled it. It's
who had
probably on
a-
my feed. I don't care. And I'm sure they're all going to show up, and I'm good with it.
You might find somebody with
it's
a
true.
Playboy or a Penthouse magazine. That'd be,
Yeah, but that's minor.
Then you're teaching yourself something. You read an article or see a picture.
Yeah,
of
but
something.
bless their heart.
But
They
yeah,
still
I never read
deserve
them.
love. Okay, let's not stop
Yeah.
there because those men still deserve love.
No.
They still
no,
deserve
no.
intimacy.
Yes,
No.
they do. Yes.
No,
No,
I'm
you
not.
agree.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that relation to me has nothing to do with
Right.
yes. Just like I'm sure there's things about me that men have discovered thinking, Jesus Christ,
Exactly.
is this, like
Exactly.
Is this
I'm not,
in?
there's no, I don't have any disillusion that I'm some perfect, experience
Yeah.
either.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm
absolutely.
sure there's been guys out there that thought, damn, this was that.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
don't think that has anything to do with whether you like or not like someone personally.
Yeah,
He's a
I
nice-
agree.
He's a nice guy.
No, they still deserve intimacy. They
Yes.
deserve love. They
Yes.
deserve a happy life.
And that's
You
where that
know?
respect is.
Yeah.
And I think people start judging. I think that's where, I mean, really, like,
Oh, they
and I think
do.
that's another reason why I wanted to do the show, because I feel like sometimes in life you become this jaded person of like what you know, what you like, and there's a big world out there,
Yeah.
and nobody, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like I may not ever go to be a swinger, probably not.
And that's okay.
But I respect people that do it,
Yeah.
and that they're into it,
Yeah.
and that they're proud of it, and that it's not like some sort of, like we were saying, like you said, like, is your biggest problem the intimacy part, like where you can't find a man that's on the same page as you that would fall in love with you because of it? Do they have the guys that you like? Do they enjoy that? Like, I mean, where does it become like the love triangle? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between sex and love.
Right, for
And-
sure.
And you're a woman.
For sure.
And it's probably hard for you to separate that sometimes.
So just because, like, you said you'll never be a swinger or go
Right.
to a club or things like that. And
I would go.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know about if I would.
Yeah, and it's fine. That's perfectly fine. And just so you know, just because I am a swinger, I don't want your husband. I don't want you. I
Oh,
don't want,
no.
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't look at things
'cause
like that.
I'm still a normal person, but a lot of other people, they don't see it that way.
Well, because it's ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Like, in other words,
Yeah.
I always find this with sexual preferences.
Right.
Like, if you're a guy
Yeah.
and you are
Yeah.
homophobic, I
Yeah.
guess you are.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna come on to me, or I don't want to hang with a gay man.
Yeah.
Why?
See,
Like,
see,
I
I'm
don't understand that.
I'm
Why?
a woman's woman, so I'm never going to do something behind your back like that's
Right.
shady and ugly.
Right.
Whether we're friends or not, that has nothing to do with it. It has to do with who I am as a person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to be, going to get banged by some other dude unless that we're okay with
So
that.
would
know?
you be in a serious relationship with a man or a woman that was not into swinging at this point in your
could.
life, since you've already done that?
I could, but there would be a stipulation
What would that be?
that we got to go to the events and be a part of, like, the
That's because those
community.
are your friends.
Yes, they're my friends. It's
So
a
it'd be
safe
real hard if
space.
he wasn't.
That would be a really hard thing. As far as me
Exactly.
actually doing the act, I'm Hispanic, okay?
You're-
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very loyal. Whoever I'm with, I'm very loyal to them. And like I said, I'm loyal to myself. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
do those type of things. But I don't think I could, I like going to the club. I like going to the parties.
Is there music going? Is there good music? And it's like a party.
good vibe,
So not everybody has to take their clothes off.
Absolutely
You can walk
not.
around fully clothed.
No,
all
the
night.
dynamics in the lifestyle is so different. You have people, couples that go and they don't play with anyone. They might play and be watched, or they might just watch other people. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
you don't have to do that. And then again with the micros, okay? I know a couple of them, happily married people, greatest men I've ever met in my life. And guess what? They let their wives be railed out by whoever she wants.
And their marriage is
for
great.
me, I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful to love someone so much.
That's kind of what this podcast
to love
that I
them
listened
that
to said
much.
that. Yeah.
To be like,
Yeah.
you know what? I want to see you enjoy yourself. I want to see you have fun.
Well, the confidence.
Wow.
takes to
There's kind of a
overcome-
turn on with that.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
like,
to know
oh,
yourself that
It
well.
is.
Yeah,
to
there is. It's
overcome-
very confident.
Listen,
Yeah.
he may have a little one, but he's got big D energy, baby. What? You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
You
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
If you think about
You
that in
know,
the
like,
opposite
Big
way, like,
D is in
Yes.
Dom and
Yeah,
big
like,
D is in Dick.
if a woman had a
Yes.
similar problem, our problem is not as prominent or as big a role sometimes as some of those things you're doing. So the overcoming of something that maybe your breasts are tiny.
Yeah.
It's not the
or
same
just how about
thing.
the gravity's pulled them.
But
Men
what
are so
women
connected to their
don't
penis.
understand is men love them
They
all.
love that. They love
Right.
They
they
love variety.
Yes.
They love them all.
So I think that's huge that a man can move on from that.
Oh, it's-
and be open enough to realize that
Yeah.
having that
Yeah.
having that experience
Yeah.
is not about me and
Yeah,
you.
she's my wife.
Yes.
She's with me. She's not going home with you, homie. But if she wants
Homie.
to, you know what I mean? But if she wants to have
Yeah.
fun with you in the bedroom for a while, guess what? He's going to be there. That doesn't mean that he's a cuck or degrading or things like that.
A cuck?
So, yeah. See, there's so many dynamics.
What's the cuck? I like it. It
Oh, I
sounds
have
like,
that on my
It sounds
tongue.
like cuck-a-doodle-doo.
Well, there's a
Well, you know, in every
there's a term.
hotel, there's a chair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the cuck chair. So it's the
It's not cock.
that's the
You sure you got that
husband.
right?
That's
Cuck?
cuck. No, the husband sits in the chair and he watches his wife be with someone else.
Oh, at these clubs.
Yes, yeah.
Is it on
they
a-
have
is it on a
hot wife.
mattress?
They
Is
have
it
like
on
a hot
a
wife.
waterbed? What is it on?
Some of the hot wives, they
Who
only
says
play.
who's hot and who's not?
So I'm going to read the definition
See,
from
that
this.
gets real interesting. Who says who's hot and who's not?
The
That's true.
definition from this website
But
Yeah.
you think they're hot.
is a cuckold.
No, it's
is
what they're called.
a willing observer of a
going for
partner's
hot.
pleasure, finding ecstasy in the erotic power play of sharing and submission. A person who derives pleasure from watching their partner engage in sexual activities with others.
That's
Yes.
a cock.
Typically
Yes.
experiencing feelings of arousal, submission, or humiliation.
I don't know, man. I
Yes.
think
and they
that's
don't always
humiliating.
have to be humiliation.
Right.
That doesn't ever have to be in, because sometimes I know a lot of single men that try to say they're bulls or whatever. They come in and they're like, yeah,
Oh, act like they're bulls?
Yeah, that's what they're called. Single men in lifestyle are called bulls. So they come
This
in with
could
a
be
big
15
head,
podcasts. This is
thinking that this
interesting.
guy is not pleasing his wife, and I'm sorry.
Oh, that they're gonna answer the problem.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, the
Yeah.
bulls think they're coming in.
be
and they're
for
getting-
real.
Those guys are in all lifestyles.
Yeah.
Th-
Oh,
those are
trust me.
Those are not just in
Yeah.
swingers.
Most of those men, though,
I'm the bull,
are
you
married
know?
with their wives at home. I've been doing this for a long time, and a lot of
Oh, so
of the
they come and they have
single
wife.
ones-
And did the wife know this?
No.
Okay, so that's called
no.
cheating.
It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
much.
Okay, so where this line
It's
draws,
very much
and where
cheating.
I analyzed it with myself last night, and really for the last couple of days, and thought about it. You're not cheating if both parties bring something like a swinger or they decide that lifestyle together. Okay, because I
Absolutely.
listened to that podcast and it was this man and woman were like vibrational about it. Like,
First of all, cheating is what
excited.
you and your partner say is cheating.
Right.
Okay? It's what
so when you get married,
and
maybe
your-
you say is
Yeah.
to me it's like
Yeah,
I mean
you
I'm-
want, in my
and
eyes,
I think emotional
if you're
cheating can be
watching
even
porn,
worse.
If you're watching porn, I don't consider that cheating. Now, if you're in the
Someone
room
asked
and
me
you
that.
never leave, we have a problem.
Yeah, you got a
You know what I
different
mean?
problem.
Like if you're not performing with me and you're watching porn 24 hours a day.
but that's what they say happens a lot of
But-
times.
Well, they're saying that's a problem with younger
It
men
is,
today
yes.
because
They're
porn is so
sperm.
available
Yes.
that they're not able to
Yes.
Perform with their
complete
wife.
with a woman,
Yes.
whether they're single or
Yes.
not.
That's where
Yes.
that's where it's a problem. Now, so in this lifestyle, and you're at a club, what's the self-awareness policy? Like if there's somebody, is there bouncers there?
Yes,
Like what if there's
for
somebody that's
sure.
just so rude and crude and disgusting, and they come in drunk?
The whole place is staffed. Whether it's
Good.
a house party, a club, it's all staffed.
Always.
Always staffed. Yeah.
Can you imagine those? The best job would ever be the security guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even if he's not into it, he's like, well, I'm getting paid
Yeah,
big
he's like-
bucks to be
He's like,
at this
I'm
killer
watching
party.
live porn here.
Yeah, he's like, honey, I'm coming home.
But it
after
can also be
this.
very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
but you know,
oh,
he
yeah.
has a wife to
Sidelines
go
all the
home
time.
to or a girlfriend.
Well, yeah.
So I used to hook up with one of the guys at one of
bouncers?
clubs. At one of the clubs, yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
They're kind of hot, right?
He was hot. He
Yeah, I
was
mean, they're
super hot.
ripped and they're packed and they're
And they're learning a
didn't
lot.
last long.
they're a
Lot
man's man.
They got a lot of knowledge.
It didn't last long.
They got big dick
He dabbled in
energy.
drugs, so I don't do that.
I always say that. Big dick
Big dick-
energy, Pelly.
big dick
Yes.
energy.
There's
Yes.
nothing better than that.
It was
you know
pretty
what?
big.
I'm starting to change my mind, and not that I ever told you what my mind was going with the micro penis, but if you have big dick energy with a micro penis,
Yeah.
might be cool.
Yes.
Might be
I've
cool.
seen it with my own eyes. I've seen
Okay,
it,
where they
you
just
know?
all of a sudden are just the man. They're the man.
Yes, yes.
It's interesting. I've never, ever.
But you're really
thought
in
about
touch
that.
with yourself, your sexuality, your
Yeah.
partner. Like there's a lot going
But
on there.
I've also met men with really big ones, and they're just equally as insecure and ridiculous. It's like,
No,
what?
you know what? That's so funny you say that. That is so funny you
It's like
say
that's
that.
all you have to offer, huh?
Yeah,
no, but
because
they're
that
like-
happened to me one time. He had a very, very large appendage and
Yeah.
No, I'm
had
telling
no
you.
idea what he was doing.
Yeah. No.
God bless him.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, terrible kisser.
I don't think there's anything worse than that. Okay, this is the bottom line. This is my opinion. We've gone way off swinging, I'm sure, but maybe not. If you can't kiss,
you
Oh,
can't
no.
fuck.
you can't fuck.
You cannot.
No.
That's a fact.
If you have a nasty
and
mouth,
if I'm having to
if you have a
teach you
nasty
how to
mouth-
kiss, we are done.
Like if your
I'm not one of
tongue
those
is
that
up
can
my
just-
nose and
Yo,
under my chin,
it's a done deal.
No.
Stop.
Like
No.
that's a done
what
deal.
are you looking
I've been
for?
practicing that
I'm
since I
all
was
about
12.
chemistry. So
Yes, you have.
Okay, I know
Yeah,
how to
I'm
kiss.
teaching. She taught a couple
There's
classes.
a lot of things I'm not good at, but I can kiss. I'm a mean kisser.
Yes, and you want to make sure everybody else.
And
is
I want
doing
you to
too.
know it, and I want you to know it.
Yes, I know. I do know.
And I'm proud
I've
of it.
seen a lot.
You know, you
of it.
said
I
you were a
love
10
it.
and the thing, I'm a 10 kissing.
Yeah.
Like,
Good.
I'm
I
all
love
about it.
I love it.
You are.
And like most people want to rush.
Yeah.
Men will rush you.
Oh, big
Yeah.
time.
And I don't like it at all.
They just want one thing. I mean, not all of them are like that. I don't want to bash.
No,
the
I
man.
will say this. When you've been married a while,
Yes.
if they're not aware of it, they're very like, well, what's wrong with that? That works. We're doing it. And it's like, I know.
So I have a rule. Like, if I'm hooking up with someone and I don't receive oral, I will never talk to them again.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Never.
Every time?
Absolutely.
Every
not.
time.
Every time.
So every time you're going to the swingers club or every time you're engaging in a house party, you are participating.
I'm talking about my
Are you
personal
participating?
life. I'm talking about my
Yeah, her
personal
personal
life.
life.
Well, that is your personal life.
Yeah, well,
Isn't your sex life your personal life?
No. It's
Okay,
different.
so you okay.
Sometimes. I'm just saying, like, if I'm, like, dating someone. And,
Oh,
you
when
know,
you're
like,
in a real relationship. Okay.
Yeah, and if they don't do that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gone. Like, we're not doing this because I'm not doing that if you're not doing this. You know
No,
what
I
I mean?
got you. But what if you did? Okay, I got you. I mean, I think that's a lot of married couple. I think that the girl gets pleased a lot more before.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal.
Yeah. Another thing I've realized is a lot of women don't like receiving.
I know they don't.
I was like, what?
A lot of times.
Well, because that is very
not
personal.
a lot of dudes know what they're doing. I'm just flat out.
No,
No, they don't. And
They
even
don't.
they don't.
They think they do.
I think it's very few.
And they're down there
and they're
working
real
on-
proud of themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. But they
The ones that
it's-
typically
That's
do,
not
it's
it.
like a puppy
Yeah.
dog.
The ones that
It's like-
typically do, they're kind of demonic.
Well, they're just over.
Oh, the ones that know what they're doing.
They're very eager.
Well, I know, but
They're
you're
usually attached to not good men.
But you say this. That's funny you say this. But you're like, that's how important. So you don't really like good men. Because you said it's that important to you.
It's not that important to me. It's not. But I'm just saying, like, sex is very, very
Okay,
much
but if you
important
get
to
a
me.
man that's not good with,
oral sex.
with you,
We're just open-minded in general.
well, open-minded is very different than oral. Let's get real now. Now, am I having to tell the swinger how to feel about herself? No. No, but I'm saying, and maybe it's our age.
You know
I
what?
feel like
maybe
oral sex
you
is
just
very
broke
intimate.
through something.
Very.
Okay?
And maybe we broke through something because listen to our
Yeah,
age
no,
difference.
you're right. You're right.
You understand?
right.
There's girls and guys out there that believe this is the truth. They believe that because they have only done oral sex, that they are a virgin still.
Oh well. Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Well, you
that's
know,
ridiculous.
what's your theory on that? Like oral sex is more
If you've
intimate.
orgasmed,
Ah,
also
it's
you're
very
not.
intimate.
I don't know.
It's very intimate. That's why I don't do it on everyone.
That's
you know?
exactly.
very
So,
intimate.
I think it's more
It's very
intimate than.
intimate.
I'm 41 and I've only swallowed 2 men's.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
I've only.
Good for you.
I have friends though, and they swallow everyone's, and I'm like,
Ew,
Not
that's
everyone.
intimate. I don't need everybody's.
Not everyone.
Don't waste that. I
You're
put it
like-
in a
you have
baggie
all
and put it
these
on my face for a
souls
facial.
attached to you. Like, what?
Don't
What's
you
going
tell me.
on?
Pelly,
That's how you hawk to it.
They're like,
I know, but Pelly, they say literally you put that as a facial, and you are.
I'm sure there
I'm
are
a
amazing
late
benefits.
bloomer when it
You're-
comes to these things.
Okay,
you know,
that's what's so. I know
am.
that's what's so funny. But I'm more vocally talk more about it and
Yeah.
pretty open about it. But I'm probably a lot more prude than you are.
Yeah.
It's funny how certain people will talk about it,
Yeah.
but then you're like, I don't.
I'll
know.
do both. I'll talk about it.
Yeah, but you're still sort of shy about like, oh, it's my intimate space, and and I get
It
that.
is.
It's
It
good.
is. I have boundaries though.
Well, you're
Like,
probably
So do
yeah,
I.
you're
So that's
protect-
what
yeah,
that.
protecting
Where's the
your-
self-awareness when you walk into a
Yes.
place like that without the bouncers? What's a story you can tell us? We'd love to hear it about something that happened that just really was uncomfortable that you saw or you experienced, or and what happened in the situation? Like, what did the people do? Did the guy leave? You know, there has to be things that happen because they happen. Then, I mean, where was the bachelorette party? We went to that strip club. I can't remember whose it was. I mean, we had the stripper obviously for Roxanne's birthday, but I went with somebody for a bachelorette party. And if you get out of
I
hand, they're
honestly
on
never,
you.
I'm
you.
trying.
On
I'm
you.
really racking my brain right now, and I haven't had like a really
Good.
bad experience.
So there's self-awareness at these places.
yes, yeah.
Well, I think because trust has to be so huge.
Yes,
To
consent-
enter into this.
consent
Yes.
is huge.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can you
Consent
take
is
us back?
huge.
You said you were very young in your marriage.
I was.
And very young when you discovered
Very young.
you might like swinging.
Yes.
Is that how you said that? So can you kind of, for the person that doesn't know a lot about swinging, might be mildly curious or not, how did you sort of venture in and dabble? How
Yeah.
did you get rolling?
Yeah. Was it videos?
This was spa. Yeah, I like watching group
Yeah.
orgies, if you may. or girl and stuff. Yeah, and then I found out, this was back in like 2015, 14.
But did your husband know this at the time, or are you experiencing on your own?
No, he knew. Yeah, so we would go to clubs. There's clubs all over.
So he did this with you?
We're gonna say ex. He's my ex.
Okay, but you guys did this together?
Yes, your ex-husband.
We never. Okay, we went to clubs together. We never swapped. We never did anything like that.
We still can go. We just
Well, swapping is different. That's something you do within the.
Okay, so like
swinging,
this
right?
is
Not
what we
just-
did.
we
inside
watch
the
and we
lifestyles.
enjoy. We don't
We
have
watch
to
and we
touch.
enjoy.
Exactly. This is what we did in the lifestyle. We went to clubs. We went to Houston, Austin, San Antonio. Pre-COVID, back in the day, I went to all of the clubs in Texas. It was fun stuff. And so he and I would do stuff, and people would watch. No one would touch me. No one would touch him.
Whose idea was it?
Mine.
Yeah, you're very explorative.
I'm very
and
sexual.
He wanted, So you have a high libido.
I do.
Damn, I got to get mine rolling.
I do.
Rolling,
And
rolling,
I meet
rolling.
women that are just like me, and they're like 65. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
exactly.
love when I meet a nasty 65-year-old. I'm like, yes.
You have to put the
She's
word.
so happy though.
But you don't have
Right.
to say a nasty. I think that you should just say a healthy sexual.
No, it's true.
65-year-old.
It's true.
I think when you put nasty on stuff like that, that's why people think it's nasty.
I say nasty
see what I'm saying?
because society says it's
I know, but
nasty.
it's not.
You
If
know,
you,
it's
if
But
you
I don't think
it
nasty
Nasty
is
could be a
always
good
bad.
term. Nasty could
I
be a
was
good
going to say
term.
something. I don't
So
think
some people
nasty.
like
I like
nasty.
nasty.
Yeah.
I like that. I
somebody
like that.
Because if you think about like erotic books, they're going for it. It's
Yeah.
choking, it's turning up, but it's always
Don't choke me because I will
mind
choke
you,
you
Okay,
back.
let's backtrack though. While I was married in my marriage, I was not nasty. I was
Well, maybe you
not
should have
nasty.
been. And maybe you would have had something stay.
No, I don't think that had anything
All right, wait
to
a
do
second.
with
Wait a second. Pelly, let's go back to the question because she never got to finish her thought on the question that Pelly asked.
how we from
So
marriage,
just
how she
tell
got
her story. Let her
how
tell
you
her
dabbled
story.
in, how you got your toe in, and where it went. Yeah.
Or all your toes, all 10 of them.
Okay, so in my
Stop dabbling.
in my marriage, at the end of my marriage, we did not divorce over swinging. That had nothing.
Did you
to do
divorce
with it.
over having bad sex life?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so you
sex
had a
till the
great
day
sex
he
life.
left.
Okay, really? This is so
Yes.
interesting to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it
we
really
had sex
is.
till the
Because
day.
sex life can
Yeah.
almost win.
I'll just be honest.
No, we want you to be.
I
Went outside your
I
marriage.
was on drugs. Yeah.
Okay.
I had relapsed. I
Oh.
was on some drugs. We both made a lot of mistakes. He was.
You were young.
Yeah. No. That's we
I mean,
were
34
both
and you've been married 20
human.
years? That's
Yes,
a lot.
we were
Well, you know,
both
and you always say
human.
nobody should marry before
You know
30.
what I mean? And no, they shouldn't.
It's
But I had
hard.
2 children before I was 20. So you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what-
you
what-
were an adult at
yeah,
14. Yeah.
yeah. And so, anyways, the marriage.
Well, that's your story, so.
The marriage dissolved. You know, like it was what it was. And then I became single, and of course, I don't have very good. I have great coping skills now. Now that I'm in my 40s, but before, when I was younger, I didn't have very good coping skills. So after the divorce, you know, everyone what they call their host stage or whatever, I realized that like all these men were just like cheating and lying, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the club. So that's what I did. I would go to the club, and I would get what I wanted out of that situation, and go home, and I'd be fine, and no one was hurt. You know, I was safe. I protected myself. I'm very, very big on safe sex, like extremely. I only do the nasty things if I'm committed to someone.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
But I think,
'Cause I think that's
kind
what
of a
people-
general rule. If you're
Yeah.
out and about,
No, it's not.
You gotta be.
No, it isn't,
People,
Billy.
You need to
people
be.
don't care.
You need
People
to
don't
be,
care.
yeah.
There's so many diseases out here, and I'm deathly afraid of them. You know, and I preach it to my daughters. I have 2 young. My daughters are single too. You know, and so I preach it to them. I'm like, you don't know where these men's penises have been.
No.
You've gotta make them.
They don't
work.
either.
So you understand people probably on the outside look at you like she's worried about that, but she goes to these swinger clubs, and I think there's just like this
I do it in
misconception.
a safe,
I know.
controlled
That's what I want you to say.
environment. I'm not drunk. Some people drink. I don't drink.
I wouldn't drink and go to that.
No way.
Because to me, I'd be
Absolutely
I need
not.
to be focused.
There would
I
be
don't
a
think-
whole
yeah.
train ran on me. I am not
I could
doing
see
that.
a drink
no.
or two.
I know
Very
to cut the edge off.
No.
But once I cut the edge
but
off, it
you
goes
can't
goes
be
to the next level.
taking shots and swinging over the shit.
No, I'm just saying I get really uninhibited,
Some
and I need to be
people do
focused on
that.
what if
But
I
yeah,
this is
and then
for me or
regret
not.
everything you did the next day because you
Yeah.
were drunk.
Yeah.
I don't want
You
that.
need to
Yes.
be really into
You don't
it.
wanna
That's what
wake
I did.
up with
That's
your
what I did
makeup on
in
the
my
pillow.
marriage. In my marriage, you know,
Yeah.
I was drinking a lot, dabbling in other things, and it was just like instead of me dealing with those issues.
Because
know,
you didn't get to
so
drink
today I
and
don't do
dabble in those things.
Right.
Single.
Exactly.
And so it ruins you see what I'm saying? I'm not
Exactly.
saying it's
Exactly.
right. I'm not saying
Exactly.
going to parties
Exactly.
but it is. There's like a
Exactly.
stage that you go through that you should be able to
But I
like
like it. It's
dance
fun.
and party
It's
and-
fun. Like I've in the last 2 years, I went to like 4 raves. I've never been a rave in my life.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was really cool.
What
I
like
was,
what rave? What do y'all consider raves now? Like our rave was like
I was like
Music?
silo.
Ours was like
you guys know what
music.
silo is. Yeah.
what is yours? A rave?
I don't just like lights and music.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. You don't have to have drugs and alcohol for that,
No,
do
you
you?
don't. No, you
it's,
don't.
It's probably even more
No.
fun.
And see, all my friends did it when I was young. When we were young, and I didn't get to experience
Light
that
music. I
because
call
I
it-
had children. I
Yeah.
couldn't
Right.
do those things.
You had your children very young.
Yes,
I mean, that is,
yes.
and I, you know, whatever your story is your story, but I think it's interesting. Did your parents talk to you about, like, if you do this, this happens, or were you stubborn teenager?
My parents were very strict. That's why I was pregnant young. You know,
And they didn't
very
educate.
strict.
They weren't
I
talking to
couldn't-
you about safe sex
No,
or
no,
how,
no,
how
no.
not to get
Yeah,
pregnant.
no.
Yeah.
Really? So you snuck around and then,
That's how I became a pregnant in high school, you know?
wow.
Yeah, because I wasn't
And you weren't
allowed
worried
to
about
do
what they, you
anything.
weren't worried about what they would think.
No, I didn't get shit.
Yeah. So, because you really wanted out of the house, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Were you raised
It wasn't
religiously?
a very good home environment. though.
Okay,
Let me just-
good.
Okay.
Okay, so it
a
wasn't
very
like,
good
we're
home.
not talking about, yeah.
Yeah, my ex-husband too. I mean, obviously, you have
So you attract at the point
children,
where you
you know?
are is where you attract what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So where you and your husband
For
were,
sure.
that's why you attracted one
sure.
another.
For
I believe
sure.
that.
I do too.
No, we built a great life. We had several businesses. We had bank money, you know, and it just
So
didn't work.
what was the thing that didn't work? Like what it was it you going to, I mean, like being more sexual than him and he just was just too much at
No.
some point?
He left me for someone else.
He
So,
did.
Yeah.
Who was
yeah.
milder?
No, she was younger. Yeah. I think someone. Yeah.
Men, yeah, he wouldn't have left without someone else.
Yeah, no
That
way.
situation.
Never.
They
never.
say men
but
don't.
I'm so grateful because I would have never left him, and I'm living my best life. I love my
Oh my God,
life.
that's great. So you
It's
would have just
great.
been because you were taught that's what you do.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm very loyal. I'm very, you know, I would have. That man could have done whatever he wanted to, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I would have
You would-
stuck
yeah.
beside him like an idiot.
You think so?
Yes, for sure.
So he
But
finally
but
yeah.
he left. You know, he has children now. He lives his life, and I hope he's happy. I don't know. We're not on bad terms, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, he's raising families and stuff, and does not sound fun to me. And I'm glad.
And he's
I'm glad.
Oh, a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting over.
Absolutely no.
Well, so your marriage ends, and then you become single again.
Yes.
And as you begin to date again,
Yeah.
how do you introduce
Yeah.
this lifestyle, or are you meeting people through the lifestyle? Like,
Yeah, I am. I have lots of friends in lifestyle.
so it's not something you've had to really broach with
So,
someone who you
I've only
didn't
had-
know.
I've only had 3 relationships my whole life. I had my husband,
Okay.
and we divorced I think 8 years ago, and I've had 2 small relationships. Both of them lasted a year. So I don't have a lot of relationship experience in the lifestyle, but I know what I want. I know what I'm comfortable with.
Do you see couples that are
Oh, yes.
very successful in the
Oh my
in the
gosh, I know. I've met couples that have been married 50 plus years. Like
Is it a private thing you think, or do you think their family's aware of it? I mean,
absolutely, their families are not, and this is how I know.
they're not.
No, they're not. So this
Yeah.
is how I know. So this was the summer of 23. Central California, there was a swingers camp out. It was so cool. It was.
Camp out meaning tents.
Yeah. So it was campers, tents.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like dogs. Bring
Yes,
everybody.
there was
Okay.
all these spaces or whatever. There was someone's house. They have, you know, a lot of acreage. They have a pool in the back.
Wow.
They,
Sounds like what's that
Can we
hippie
go?
thing? What was that thing called back in the day? Everybody
Yeah,
just went out to
Woodstock.
that land.
Woodstock.
Yeah. Is that
See,
what
I
it was
was
like?
made for Woodstock.
Well, yeah, you were. Dang, they should have fenced
We
you
love.
in. They shouldn't
We
have fenced
love
you.
love.
Yeah, exactly. Woodstock.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Free love.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But anyways, I went to this, and the man who invited me was a lot older than me. I'd never played with him or anything. He's still a gentleman, you know. That's the thing about this lifestyle. I have so many friends that I've played with that I don't play with. I'll never play with. You know
Right.
what I mean? And just because I'm friends with them doesn't mean that, you know.
What do you
we're
mean play
doing-
with? Like they
have
come.
sex. Have
Okay, they
sex.
come to your house.
Have sex. That just mean have sex.
Okay.
Because most
And you
all
don't
of my
get you don't
friends-
get attached.
Well, I'm an emotional person. Like, what do you mean attached? Like,
Well, like, can you? Okay, for
I'm
instance.
not going to get attached to someone's husband. First of all, I want my own husband. I'm not going to get attached to someone's
finish
God,
the
husband.
that's
story
just
about the camp
crazy.
out.
I love it.
The camp out.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So,
Sorry, but I'm just like intrigued by that. Pelly.
sorry, but
I know you are.
we went to I went to the camp out. He was older. He was in his 50s, maybe close to 60. I'm not sure. He looks good for his age. Anyway, so I get there and it's a whole weekend thing. You know, there's campers, really nice campers. There's tents, you know, all this stuff, and these people come from all around the United States, actually. And anyways, it was in Central California, and everyone was 50 plus. I was 39 at the time. I was 39.
50 plus.
There was another
fit
guy.
right in. We
sure
there was,
would.
yeah, there was another guy that was 27. We decided he was the youngest one there. But it was so cool. Like, I saw all these grandma and grandpas. And
Wait,
like,
he went by
they
himself?
were real grandma and grandpas.
Yeah.
I'm a grandma now, so like
Yeah.
I could say that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, but they
were
looked at you're
so
young.
Nice. They were so nice, and they were just so, like, I don't know. I
Interesting.
can't explain
Very
it.
interesting.
So, anyways, while I'm there, I have a TikTok go viral. You know, and I'm like,
One of yours?
yes, one of my TikToks. My
Well,
first
so what is it? How
TikTok.
many? Like what made it go viral? Like what?
So what I did is I recorded the pool and the beds that were lined up, the BDSM
At this Woodstock,
Yes,
okay.
the cross, the things like this, and you know, and I just recorded it, and I was like, come camping with a swinger, camping with me. I don't remember. Okay, I don't even have that account anymore because I keep getting banned. But, anyways, it was my first viral TikTok, and they were like, oh, and I told them, I was like, yeah, I'm an open swinger on TikTok. They're like, that's so cool. We could never do that. Our family does not know. Our family just knows that we're on vacation, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, we couldn't. And they were so happy for me that I got to like talk about
Yeah.
these things because they're like, we could have never done this in our day and time. And these people, these happily married
I
people
bet Sarah
were
and Harry
in
are-
their 60s and
What's the
70s.
swingers
Same
place?
thing.
RVs. They went to RV places.
60s and 70s, you know, and they're
Yeah.
like, this is beautiful. They would ask me, like, you know, a couple hours would go by, Jennifer, what's the count at now? And I'd be like, oh, 240,000. You know, like, yay!
It's exciting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was so exciting.
That's
So
crazy.
It was a beautiful experience. I didn't do a lot of playing there, you know, that time.
So
but-
on a campsite, like let's just say you're walking around this campsite, seeing who you're interested in, or what's this look like? I mean, I'm just so visual. I've got to know.
well, some people are naked in the pool.
Sitting.
in the
Because
hot tub or outside.
because there's a pool
naked.
out there.
They
Okay, could you be sitting in your lounge chair drinking beer?
Yeah.
Come on
yeah,
by and I'm just fully naked?
Yeah. I saw a bunch of grandmas naked.
Good. Fit?
You know what?
Are
I
they
was
all,
the naked
are they all
mom.
fit?
I was the naked
but
mom.
okay, but are they all fit?
I mean, they're old women. What do
Doesn't
you
matter.
mean?
Some of them.
Some
could
they
have had
weren't-
surgery.
They weren't ugly. They all had nice boobs.
They did?
Yeah, they all had nice boobs. You know, but it was beautiful. You know, and just
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It was.
Yeah.
I was one of my most favorite experiences.
And maybe they didn't have the.
Do your girls
almond
know
ball
that you're a
sack.
swinger?
Of course.
I hope not.
Yes, my kids know.
For that, I've got to have some tequila. Because the big, large, older men compared to your little.
Well, I
issue-
think a lot of men get them.
I need
tucked. I mean, they get them
I don't think it
lifted
matters.
today. So
you can
that's-
get your ball sack lifted.
Yes,
Your scrotum.
your scrotum.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Your scrotum.
Yeah, the sack.
The
Yeah.
sack. Don't say the sack.
mean, you can-
Can I ask
you
y'all a
can do
question?
any of
And,
that.
I'm going to ask you. You know why? Because I think
Okay.
you might know this question. And I need to know.
Okay.
Don't even guess my age. But bottom, and I don't talk about my age.
You said you're in your 50s.
I didn't say what age. Jeez. I'm going to tell
You're
you
beautiful.
this. Thank you very much. So are you. But I'm going to tell you this. What's that line in the scrotum?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
have no idea.
What separates the
I
balls?
put it in my
Well,
mouth
no.
a lot.
So and you don't even see that little line that kind of goes down.
I know. I've
You've
had it in
never
my
asked
mouth.
either.
Yeah,
Me
I've had
neither.
it in
And
my mouth.
I
did
just
it in
don't
my
want
mouth a
to.
lot.
Do you want me to Google it?
I mean, I
Google it if you
would.
want me
I
to.
don't
Tell
know
me
what
what
it's
the
called.
line is in
You-
the scrotum.
You need to ask the guys that.
Well,
We
the
don't
guy,
know
Danny,
that.
what,
They don't
do
know.
you
Look
have
at
a
'em.
scrotum, Danny?
They have no
It's the
idea.
taint, right? Is that the taint?
No,
No,
that's the thing
underneath.
between your,
Your
no,
butthole and your
very
penis.
different.
Oh.
But Danny,
But that line that separates the balls, I don't know. I don't know what it's called.
can we
Pelly, I
find
would like
out?
to be
I'd love to
informed
know.
as well.
Do you-
Somebody's gotta
Do
Google
you have
that.
one?
I'm doing it.
Do I have a line?
Yeah.
I do have a line, yes.
Yeah, most guys do, right?
Yes, and you're crossing it right now, actually. You're actually crossing my line.
Well, you know, I know how to cross lines very easily. It's making you very uncomfortable, and I've never seen you get uncomfortable.
I'm blushing
because
under
you're
all
the
of this
fourth.
melanin right here.
Are you supposed
I'm
to be the
blushing.
fourth wall, and I've completely disrespected that?
All of this dark skin, I'm blushing. So
There's no
just to let
blushing
you know.
here. It's a free open space.
Yeah, listen,
Thank
that's
you,
another
Jen.
thing. You
Thank
know,
you.
can I
Let me
ask?
rest in your arms.
And this is the most interesting person, right? And like accepting of everything, which has been such joy. Like, I don't know, man. It makes me go, why am I going around trying to tell people how they need to live their life?
Life's too hard.
I
It's
know.
stressful. Why am I
know.
going to worry about what someone else is
But
doing?
I do think a marriage should always be communicated with.
sure.
And there is ultimately I believe in you trying to make your marriage work. Always. I'm a big
I don't
believer.
believe in divorce.
I don't
think
either.
Everyone should do.
I believe that you try to make it work.
Yes.
But if you did everything possible,
Yes.
and there's no change ever going on,
Yes.
and only one party is
Or if
doing
there's
this.
abuse, if someone's hitting you.
Oh, that's it.
You know
that's
what I mean?
that's
Like you
divorce.
You don't do those things.
Yeah. But if there's a respectful marriage that you like, a lot of marriages, and they just end.
Yeah.
Well, maybe get people together, and like just have love, like you do, like just be accepting of something instead of making them feel like it's, oh, you're gross or you're kinky. That is why I feel that people go to porn.
Yeah.
More
I
than they.
have a policy. I don't kink shame anyone unless you like
I don't
children.
know how to find that.
It's the only.
Okay,
that's
well,
the-
there's no
you
fix.
know,
everything's
You can't
profile.
fix
You don't
that.
exactly.
You can't fix
exactly.
pedophilia.
If you like
That's
children
not-
or animals, then there's. I
Then-
don't
well,
know.
then
you
I-
really
then
need
you-
to go to therapy. But I think
There's
that
no
other
therapy in
things-
that.
I
You
think
need to
there's-
be.
You need
Yeah, shot in the
serious
back
help.
of a.
I agree. Amen,
You need to be
sister.
shot in the
Amen,
back of an
sister.
F-51.
Amen, sister.
Well, do you find
251
that people
truck.
have those kind of misconceptions
Ugh,
around
that is
swinging
not even-
because
Oh, for
it's sort of
sure.
taboo, and then they
sure.
associate. I think just like sometimes people that are very misinformed about being gay, they assume that as
Yeah.
a gay man you want their little boy or your brother.
Exactly.
Well, that's
That's
ignorance.
so weird.
That is ignorance,
So I
and
think
that
you
drives
have-
me
Predators.
nuts.
Yes.
They think they're
predators
predators.
want that. You know,
Yes.
not gay men.
No,
Not, and not.
right.
There are gay men that are predators, and there's some that are
Right.
not.
Hey man,
Right.
there is something hiding in everything.
There is.
Churches.
There's bad everywhere.
It's
It
bad
doesn't
everywhere.
matter.
The
Yes.
devil is out. Okay,
Out.
it's
Yes.
what you make of that.
Yeah.
Why would you make everything has to be so like taboo in like a way like, okay, well, swingers are all bad, or gay lesbian, or heterosexual, whatever it is. Oh, I like, missionary. I'm bad. You know,
Yeah.
like everything just has this thing. It's like, well, it's really none of your business what I do.
Yeah.
Like, where'd you get past that? Like, were you
honestly-
people
okay.
judging you?
Okay, so like when I was married, my kids they grew up in a really small town outside of Tyler, Texas.
Your kids
And,
did?
Yeah, that's where I raised them. Me and their
Wow.
dad were business owners.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knew us. Everyone was in my business. And
Probably it's like Wortham.
When we divorced, everyone like turned on me, and I'm like. It's like, you know what? Fuck all you people.
They
Like,
turned on you, and you were the one
yes.
cheated on.
Yes, and I was like, fuck all you people. Like, what is going on? And I hated, even when I moved to that town, because I'm from Mesquite, you know.
It's it's just, I mean, it is a smaller, but it is Dallas.
Yeah, you know,
Suburb,
in elementary school,
part
I
of-
lived in like South Dallas or something, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
no one here is worried about what other people are doing, you know? And so when I moved there, and after
can't
my
hide in
divorce,
small towns.
after
That's
my
the
divorce,
only issue about
after
having-
my divorce, I just thought I don't give
Well, you
a
can.
fuck.
Plenty of people do,
I
but-
don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me.
Right.
Unless you're paying my bills, which they
Good,
you know
but you
what I
learned
mean?
it
Like,
early.
Don't.
Most people don't.
I don't care what people. You know who I care what think about me? My children.
And God,
I care
for
about my
me.
children and God.
That's
Those are
me.
the only two people.
Yes.
I love my daughters.
And I love my husband.
Yes.
I
So,
adore
if I
him.
had a
But
husband,
at the end
I
of the
would- I would
day,
care.
I care about respecting him
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
But really, the only
I-
person I have to answer to is really
Yes,
God. And
God, it's true.
and if I'm
It's
doing
true.
godly things, I'm sure my children are
Yeah.
respecting me,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping with anyone's husband. I'm not having an affair with some
Right.
man hurting some woman behind her back. I would never do something
No.
like that.
Well,
That's
so for
awful.
someone that doesn't,
I wouldn't either.
swing,
I'm not a cheater.
I
I
think
don't
a
do
lot
that.
of people might have a misconception about it being ungodly or immoral because we're
Yeah.
I think-
one-on-one. So tell us how you deal with your moral boundaries and at what, like, if you're raised Christian or you're raised a certain way to believe it's a man and a woman, period. You don't cheat. You don't go outside the marriage. So how does that relate? How do you make your relationship with God for the typical person that doesn't understand?
Right.
How would you explain that?
Oh, yeah.
For me, I believe that God doesn't want me to hurt anyone or hurt myself, and I think God wants us to be happy, whatever that may look like. You know, I would have never like raised a child and then became gay or lesbian and me not love them. Like,
Right.
what? And I don't believe that God wants.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
sad.
I
Yeah.
don't think that God's like that.
Yeah, that's
either.
sad.
You know what I mean?
No.
Just because I don't believe in something, you know, like I don't know. It's just
Or just because that's not your preference doesn't mean that it's
Yes.
wrong. That's where the line
Doesn't.
draws for me. It's like God does not make mistakes.
no,
Okay?
no. I'm a firm
Humans
believer.
do, and I believe things
Yes,
happen
yes.
to us, and I think that there's stories to be told
God
because
puts
of
us
things.
on this earth to learn. We are here to learn,
Absolutely.
and evolve and grow
Experience.
and things like that. Who knows? In 5 years, I may not ever swing ever again, and that may be
Well, no,
okay.
you may be very fulfilled with your husband or your or your
Yes,
wife or your
yes,
significant other, whatever that looks like for
yeah,
you.
whatever that looks
Yeah.
like for me. And
Yeah,
it's
you might be.
okay. It's okay to change and grow.
And it's okay. There's also people that are open like you are, and they're almost judgmental that you're not. Like, in other words, if I didn't want to do that and I say it to you, you were
Oh,
very accepting.
absolutely
Like,
not.
okay, that's good. You're
Absolutely
not like
not.
that. I mean, if
Yeah.
you don't want to do that, but they'll look at you or frown upon you like you're boring.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you're closed
like,
off.
ooh, you're closed off, Kelly, because you
Or
don't
you're
like
prude-
that.
Yeah,
No
prudish
way.
or
I
whatever.
don't think. I
No
mean,
way.
maybe I just don't know any different. I haven't been. Maybe if I
Yeah,
go, like
yeah.
I said, if I can be a voyeur,
The only
I
time,
might be
the
into
only
it.
time I feel like that is when people are judging me. Like, one of my really good
People
friends.
judge, man.
One of my really good friends from high school. She's like, Jennifer. She's like, what are you doing? Don't you want a marriage? I'm like, yeah, one day if it happens for me. I was married once. You know what I mean?
You've
But
had
That's
it,
very
though.
funny
I
what
have
you
had
just said.
that.
Like your friend assumes that you can't have the relationship she probably has.
Yes.
Because you swing.
Exactly.
And you. So, what is your answer to her?
Um.
I'm so curious because it's just like,
Well, first of all, I'm
is
not
she your friend?
dying.
First of all, is she your friend?
That could be on. Hold on, that could be
I mean, is she your friend? I'm being honest
No.
because I feel like when people come to you and like, oh, or there's any kind of passive aggressive going on,
Yeah.
which has happened to me.
all of my friends.
I
whole
question
life have
friendship.
been like jealous, and I mean, half
Is it
of them-
because why?
I don't know.
Because you're open
I think
and
so,
loving? Yeah.
Because
I think people are
it's-
intimidated by that.
because
It's very
I think
intimidating.
it's because I'm sure of myself.
Yeah.
You remember
I don't
you
have-
were 20 on
you
a
know
1
what
to
I mean?
10.
Yeah, even having a child young, of course I made mistakes or whatever. But it's because I'm sure I don't doubt myself.
Where did you get that
I'm okay.
confidence though? It wasn't earned by, I mean, it's like you learned it, or because your parents didn't teach it.
I think I didn't have a choice in life.
Wow. And are you a hard
Can't really
grinding
cry.
worker?
Wow,
yeah.
that was beautiful.
You know what that really
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
No, that's
a
okay.
tissue?
That's beautiful.
I didn't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice but to love
I
yourself.
didn't have a choice.
It was
gonna
either
get you
that or
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something. That's
So your environment,
Yeah.
it seems like bloomed really well out of whatever soil God gave you. You bloomed where you were planted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you seem like a beautiful human being to me. I mean, I've
Thank
really
you. That
enjoyed
means so much.
talking to you. And I think there is so much stigma around things that people consider taboo, whether it's whatever it is. And it's amazing to see your honesty and to answer questions. I kind of thought we might get giggly just because we didn't know.
No,
Kelly
I
and
mean, I
tend to
literally,
do that.
you know what? I prepped myself because I was like, well, first of all, I'm a very open-minded person.
Yes.
Right.
I just
That's-
am.
that's a great
You know, and I'll
quality
say it
to have.
always. I'm a Scorpio, and I think that has something to do with that.
Yeah. Oh,
Kelly
yeah.
gets
course
mad
it
at
does.
me, but I'm
So
like,
she's-
There's not one
she's
conversation where that
thinking
doesn't
about
so
it
I'm
a little
always
bit.
thinking about everything.
She's a Scorpio.
But I will never let you know because I'm very private.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Yes.
not private,
Yeah.
like meaning
Yeah.
what I want to do is my privacy and
Yeah.
whatever. And I
don't
adore
need
the
to-
fact that you
I don't need
want to
to know
share
your,
that.
I don't need to know your bedroom activities. It's okay. You know
No,
what I mean?
no. It doesn't mean that I'm not. That's what I'm saying with people. It's like I feel like some people share and it's like an authentic share where you're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
where you're like,
Fake.
oh, okay, yeah, of course you have that sex
Yeah.
life, and you can feel that it's
No,
authentic.
I'm a genuine person. And I don't think that's probably why people hate me.
What's your
is
sign
I'm,
though?
I'm a Pisces.
But Pisces are
course
so
you are.
loving and so kind. Like,
Best sex
So,
I ever
hey,
had.
yes, Danny.
So-
really, Belly?
I want to
Yes, ma'am.
interject and like talk about that that question you were asking about like how is it that you kind of are so sure of yourself and things like that, because I feel like I kind of live that way, and I want to ask you if you think that this is accurate. People who learn how to kind of color outside of the lines lose their fear, right? Because life tells you that you're supposed to operate a certain type of way.
It does.
Society
Everybody's-
does.
right.
Society
Society's
and
telling you that you're
the
supposed to-
internet tells you that.
And your
Right.
parents.
So everybody's trying to color inside the lines, like, and fit in that box.
Mm-hmm.
But once you step outside of that box and you realize, you know, hey, it's okay out here. You
Yeah.
develop that confidence in knowing
Yeah,
that
just like that
you're a
small
good
town
person.
I lived in and I raised my kids in, which it was a great place for them to to be
Run
in,
free, have
to
fun.
run free. It was a safe place for them. But at the end of the day, those people, who the hell were they to judge me? And
Right.
like, who the hell, and who gets to tell people how to live their life?
And that's what I'm hoping this thing
what?
opens people up
And it's-
because
Right.
I'll be honest with you, like if you want me to be raw honest, I was like, I watched this 1969 movie
Yeah.
about
Bill
these two
and Ted
couples,
and
Bill and
Alice
Ted
and
and
whatever.
Alice and something. It's such a bad name because it was like, and it was fine, but it didn't show. I mean, it was just like two couples that finally together switched.
Yeah.
But there was nothing that interesting about it, so I would pause it. If it was interesting, I wouldn't pause and go to the room and come back. I think I might have not
Right.
paused it a few times too. I was like, oh, it's almost over, good.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But anyway, then I got onto this podcast with this couple that were like doing the swinging life, and they were like giggling. I mean, laughing, like they were having a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were only doing their podcast for a hobby
Yeah.
and to try to get it out there for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, like I could go my whole life and just judge what everybody does, but like that's not interesting to
Yeah,
me.
but you know what? Those same people that are judging, they're cheating. They're talking about their best
Oh,
friends.
it's like churches in small towns that we know about.
It is.
And I don't think
It's
that,
funny. They
I don't
walk out of
think that
church, and the
is-
minute they walk out, they're saying,
I don't think that's singular to small towns. I think a lot of times you can find in a group,
Oh, yeah.
especially a church setting,
sure.
you're in there trying to get your Jesus on, and then you walk out the door and you are just
That's what people-
annihilating everybody.
That's why people don't like organized religion.
That's exactly
I'm
Yes.
why I
telling
don't
you,
have
they
God's
don't.
job
It
is to
doesn't feel good.
judge.
God doesn't judge.
That's also why I don't have a lot of friends. Like, I do have some friends that I'm really, really close to, but I don't have a lot because once I meet someone and, if they're talking about their best friend over here or they're talking about this guy, this husband's cheating,
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do
You
with
just
that.
wonder what they're saying when
I
you walk
want
off.
nothing to do with that. Like, what? Like,
Yeah, and the whole cheating aspect of it, I think that you've really opened my mind to think.
do you know?
You know, like, I
harmful
don't-
that
I think-
is
I
to
think-
love someone and they step out on you.
Yes,
It's so
soul crushing.
I think everybody
it's
should be
so
cheated
crushing.
on.
It hurts.
Everybody's been
terribly.
cheated on, right?
It hurts
I mean-
so bad.
Haven't you been
know?
cheated on?
Again, I'm sure I have.
Of course.
Yeah.
It hurts.
I've never had a big blow up over cheating, so I don't. But I have.
Well, I mean, I've had
hurts.
serious
Pretty
boyfriends.
sure-
Like I was always kind of like,
Yeah.
I've been cheated on.
I'm sure I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse about it. But the thing about it is, you start to realize it wasn't about you.
Never.
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 Thank you.
It's that
And so when
person.
you start to realize that,
Yeah.
and then you see these, I mean,
Yeah.
what I would consider a beautiful man or a beautiful woman, and they're getting cheated on, then you start doing the math, and you're like, it's not about them.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
something lacking in you, because for me,
Yeah.
this is just me, and I'm speaking for myself. I would get out way before you would. I'm so communicative that you would know
Yeah.
what's not working,
Yeah.
why it's not working. I mean, sure, there's some shyness I have about it, and I don't always like doing it. It takes me a little bit of time,
Yeah.
but once I get
That's
there,
how I am. That's how I am. That's how I do life.
yes.
That's
But
how I am.
to cheat on somebody, and especially with children involved and all that, I don't have time for that. It's
Yeah.
a very it just tells you people do
Yeah.
things out of insecurity,
Yeah, they
and it
do.
isn't about
They do.
the person being cheated on.
They do.
Hey, we're gonna have to start wrapping up in a little bit.
Okay.
But before we do, I'd like to pose a question to Jen real quick.
Sure.
Earlier, she had mentioned about it's fun, right?
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
the fun part.
So hold up, and before we get into it, I want you to kind of like give your take on the fact that it's fun versus that person is doing that because of trauma.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Understanding,
Yeah.
that kind of difference. So
Okay. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. The environment's fun. The dressing up is fun.
Like actually doing your hair, your makeup.
Yes.
Okay, but When you start to
Yes.
take the clothes off, is that fun? Or are you like, I mean, there's got to be insecurity. For me,
Listen,
I'd be
girl.
like, oh, God, 2 babies came out of this body. It ain't, it's
Listen,
not
girl,
looking
nobody
as
is
good as it used to.
perfect. Nobody's perfect.
So you're seeing a lot of
Okay.
imperfection there. This
Yeah,
isn't all people with.
Yeah, and who cares? It's beautiful.
Okay.
Guess what? If this
Okay.
woman is 300 pounds and she is sprawled out, you go girl. You know what I mean? If that's what makes
Wow.
you feel good, why am I going to be like, ew, that's gross? Now, don't get me wrong. We all have preferences.
We have taste, and there
We
is
all
people
have
that like that.
taste, you
They
know?
like that.
Men
Some people like it.
Whether you're swinging or not. We
Yeah.
all have,
Some
yeah.
people
And
like 300
people
pounds.
need to understand that men,
Some do.
men like variety. It does not matter if you're skinny, big, little, small, your butt's big, your butt boobs.
You don't think men care about that?
They do not care.
Okay, good to know.
They do not
Good to
care.
know, Pelly.
Thank God.
You know what? Men like
Woo,
men like
we're still doing good,
confident
girls.
Women. They like confident women. And they like women who like to have sex.
So tell us something that's just like really fun about what you enjoy. Maybe a club night or a
I
something
love
fun.
hotel takeovers. They're really, really fun.
Oh, that's the podcast I listen
Ooh,
to.
what is that about?
Yeah, so they do hotel take. There's a lot of here.
So
in
you
Dallas.
get a key and you walk in and you got Mr. Man.
No, it's usually it's either a whole hotel takeover or
They rent the hotel.
yes, they're all swingers. They'll all rent their room. They decorate their rooms. Yeah,
Okay,
and
who's
then you
they?
can- the people
Each
that
person
are
has
staying, the
okay.
swingers. The swingers.
So then you're invited to this.
But is
Yeah.
there like a convention room where everybody's kind of hooking up?
Yeah,
and
there'll be-
I mean, like a
No, not hooking up.
Not
Well,
hooking up, but getting to know each other, like
Yes.
the vanilla. What they call that? The vanilla meat or whatever they call
What
that.
if you
I
want
saw
to be
that.
swung on and you want to swing and nobody's swinging on you and nobody's swinging
Guess
on?
what? That's
then you gotta
life.
walk home and
That's
not be
life.
swung on.
That's life.
I know, but that's like
life.
everybody wins a trophy, girl. Everybody
life.
wins a trophy nowadays, and I don't want to be walking out not being swung on.
Okay, so how
I'm
I
worried
kinda,
about it.
like how I'm picturing
Y'all,
this,
okay, let me tell
I'm
you.
picturing,
Kelly,
like,
you're picturing me and
I
you, and we
don't get
swung
swung on 90% of the events that I
not.
go to.
Oh, that will crush me. I walk in, nobody notices me. I'm not into that. Pelly, it's
Trust
not
me,
gonna be
baby.
good.
If your titties are
It's
out,
not
everybody's gonna notice
Okay.
you.
Okay, then I'll pull it
All right,
out, I
so
guess.
the hotel takeover seems fun. That's everybody in one big group. Everybody's there for the same type of reason. Everybody knows it's okay. So for the
We all
person
know, Billy,
that's
what's going
very curious, so if Kelly and her husband want to go out
Yeah.
and check out one of these
Swing
clubs,
on people, yeah.
what do you recommend? How would you approach this as somebody that knows nothing about swinging and
Yeah,
they
what
want
would
to
we do?
check it out?
I think you should just go with an open mind,
Okay.
with no expectations. And I think at any point that you feel uncomfortable, you need to speak to your spouse, and you either leave or you say, hey, I don't this. This doesn't feel comfortable with me. I don't encourage anyone to play their first time they ever go to any event.
Oh, gosh, no, I would think that.
I would never encourage that. I think you need to go in very slow. You need to communicate with your partner about what you want out of the experience, and you need to talk about your limits and your boundaries. Those are really, really huge. Like
What if you don't really know your limits and your boundaries because you've never done it?
like, okay, for me, like some things that would pop off in my head would be like, okay, like if I was talking to my husband, I'd be like, hey,
I am your husband.
yes, okay.
Okay, what are you gonna say to me?
Don't stare too long, okay? Like,
Yeah.
you can stare.
You can
but don't,
look, but don't
make
just
me
stand
feel
there.
uncomfortable. Where
Don't
Standing
make me
by
feel
you.
Yeah.
forgotten.
Like standing by you while we're standing there
And
together. That would be weird.
Stay next to me. Don't disappear on me. Because it could
See,
be a
I could
scary
be the
place. It
starer
can be
that be stares
scary.
too long.
It
I
can
know
be
that about
scary.
myself.
I know that about you,
I
too.
know that about me.
It could be
I could
scary
stare
to
way too
people
long.
who are not used to that environment, and that environment might be a little scary to them.
Yeah.
So you wanna have a really good foundation with your partner and who you're with, and just be like, hey, tonight we can watch. Or if you feel comfortable, be like, okay, well tonight, maybe you and I can play in an open room or something. Just
Wow.
just keep and remember, like, the lifestyle is what you and your partner make it.
I know. And what if one
It's-
wants something
Right.
different than the other? See, this
Then
is
you
opening
talk
a whole
about
new
it.
thing. That's a lot
Then
of
you
talking going
talk
on.
about it, though.
Yeah.
Well,
You
it's,
know?
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think
things
people
I
are
saw was
scared
that
to
you
do
are
There's compromise.
You're
There's
creating the boundaries.
compromising.
So maybe you make a list of 5 things. These 5 things we're going to do or not do,
Yes.
and then maybe you do venture off into.
And guess
then
what?
You
The-
reset boundaries and revisit boundaries.
Once
is what-
people start it, and when they've been in it for years, they're like, "Oh, we don't even have those boundaries anymore." You know, they're like, "Oh, but this is what
Really?
we had
Yeah,
in the
'cause that
beginning."
podcast,
Yeah,
they were kind of, they didn't seem like they had very many boundaries.
no. A lot of them are just same roof. You know what I mean? Like you can't be off. without
Honestly,
me.
when I thought you were
Right.
coming in on this podcast, I didn't have any kind of, like, I was just like, I'm not going to prepare myself too much.
Yeah.
And I thought literally you were because they said, oh, she's single. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, well, so I thought you were like, you know, like sort of like a sex therapist that went in and helped these couples.
I am now, though.
No,
I
but
am
I'm
now.
thinking
I
that.
really.
Like, where's the fine line of you being like, you know, like, I know you've had to have a situation where, you know, someone was like not good with what was going on and you had to stop.
for sure.
Okay, so what was that like? Like, what? Where's that line?
For me, couples have their boundaries. I also have mine. I will not even talk to couples that are fighting or they show any kind of unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
Like they're
won't mess
forced
with
to
it.
do this sort
yes,
of thing?
Yes, because it happens
And
all
you
the time.
intuitively can figure that out.
Yes, you
I think so.
totally. Most people can. They're like, oh, they don't even want to be swingers. She's doing this for him. It's usually she's doing it for him because he's cheating. Like that's.
And does
that's
she realize
usually what
he's
it is.
cheating and they've gone to a therapist and the therapist said, go to a swingers club?
No,
'cause
most of them
he wants
probably are
something-
not. No, most
He
of
wants
them
more.
are-
He wants.
First of all,
he
if,
wants a
if
hamburger
someone
that
is
has some
stepped
tomato
out,
on it.
if someone is stepped out and
Jeez.
forgiveness isn't involved, I would never advise anyone to cheat, to be a swinger.
Okay,
If
so-
someone has stepped out, you
Yeah, I
should
think those are two
never.
very different
They're
things.
very different
Yeah.
things.
Okay, can a married couple, if the man's not, is this cheat? I'm asking because I
Yeah.
just want to know. You got a married couple, I give Stephen permission to go to a swingers bar by himself because I'm not into it. Is that cheating? If we agree to it,
Not in your relationship. If you're saying
I don't
that's
think it
okay.
is because
That's
this is
what
the
that-
deal. I just don't want to know about it.
Okay.
I said that's
Guess what?
fine. Just
That's
don't bring.
their relationship, and that's their.
That's right. But in
Yeah.
your eye, you're one of the people, and you see him keep coming.
But if
and
I
you're
see
like,
him,
I know she's married.
If I see him and he tells me that, I'm like, no,
You don't
I
believe
won't believe it. I
Exactly.
won't believe it.
And meanwhile,
If
his
the
wife
wife
is
talks
giving him
to
permission.
me, if he's really interested in me, he's gonna have his wife call
He's gonna have a
me.
note on his forehead that
He's-
says,
but he's
call
gonna-
my wife.
Yes.
Yeah, the one girl
yes,
said that typically
yes,
girls reach out to each
yes.
other to set up
Oh, they
the
do.
couple play or whatever.
Oh, so there's
Or there's
group
group
boundaries in
texts.
this.
If there's 2 couples, you have a group text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for instance, I've been on this reading rampage, and so in one of the books, this girl, her husband comes home. That she's been married 2 or 3 years, and in the book he comes home. He's like, I would like to have an open marriage, and she's devastated. She's like, what the hell? But she doesn't have a lot of friends. She's kind of isolated in this relationship, and so she's like, okay, fine. And
Wow.
Happens
is
all the
really
time.
not into it.
No,
but
I know,
she
yeah.
has randomly met this guy in a very casual type thing, and then she realizes he's straight away. He's into it. He travels a lot, and so he's out of town.
Yeah.
And doesn't communicate a lot when he is out of town. And so he's just saying, I want to satisfy my needs when I'm not with you. You're everything to me, and I want you to have my children. And this is a book, but I think
Right.
all these things. I think these things happen.
I
So
don't think there's anything wrong with
So
that.
what does
as
she
long
do?
as
then
they're okay in
she
their
calls up
marriage.
this guy that she kind of.
Marriage is about
They
two
had
people.
they had a conversation.
Two people.
She
Doesn't-
goes out.
You know what I mean?
Don't worry about
Yeah.
what other people are doing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Who the fuck
I really think there's more open marriages than
cares?
you think.
Oh, there's
But-
so many
And we always
more.
think, oh my God, he's cheating on her. Well, she seems to be fine with
Yeah.
it.
Well, in the book, when she goes and approaches this man, they end up hooking up, but they only have oral because she feels like the penetration is cheating on her husband. She's
Yeah.
having this whole moment. She goes home kind of like, what am I doing? This is really not something I want to do. And he comes home that night with lipstick on his collar, and it crushed her. She was like,
Yeah.
I can't do this. But she continues
Yeah.
seeing this guy because he's continued to be out of town, and it blows up there in this book, blows up their whole shit. Like,
Yeah.
Blows their marriage up
blows it up.
Yeah.
And when she goes
because
back,
the guy wanted her to do it, but he really didn't.
and a few weeks into it, when he comes back to town or whatever, she says, "I don't want this. This
Yeah.
is
This
you're
is
the
why-
person I
this
signed
is why
up for."
Honesty in marriage is,
Yeah.
if you don't have honesty in your marriage, you have nothing.
Exactly.
You have
And that
nothing.
could be any.
That's
yeah.
why I've been single for so long. You know, these
Same.
I'll catch one of them in a lie, and I'm like, fuck off.
How long have you
I
been
do
single?
not have time to do this.
How long have you been?
8 years. I mean,
And
8
Pelly, how
years.
long have you been single?
8 or 10, something like that.
Yeah, because
Long time.
so you
Yeah.
guys can pretty much do anything on your own.
Yeah.
Change a tie. I
Yeah.
mean, she can do anything.
Yeah.
I can't do
My dad
anything,
got me
but I can do a
AAA
lot.
for that. Okay. So-
Yeah.
Your dad did. Oh, so he's a good. So you have a good dad.
I have some
a
great
great
cousins and
dad.
some great
so you
friends.
like that on
My
the
dad
dad
is
yeah.
great.
and he knows you. He knows you.
I don't talk to my dad. Listen, my dad's a pimp. Okay, he's got 3 baby mamas. Okay. I don't wanna
Damn.
hear it. Got 3 baby
Damn,
mamas.
you gotta come back and talk
Hey,
about
your
that.
dad's a
I'm the
pimp.
oldest.
You can
I'm
be
the
a
oldest.
swinger.
Damn, I want to know more about
My
that.
dad is so
I wish
handsome.
my dad
You
was a
guys
pimp.
would think he was handsome. He's
Is he?
57.
Oh, I would.
Oh, he's my age.
I'm 52.
Is he single?
Yeah. He, no.
I'm
Kidding.
52. He is your age, and he's a
Yeah.
pimp, Pelly.
he
There's
is.
nothing
He
hotter.
is.
I
My
don't want to
dad-
be a hoe.
My
You
dad's
pimp
very-
like wears cool.
He's
You
very-
don't? You mean he wears like cool shoes?
No,
and a suit?
like he's.
You mean pimp like he's hot?
No, he is. He's a
He's
very
a
attractive
PIMP
man,
pimp.
but he's very he's very like he's good with women. You know, he texts me,
Oh, I can
my
tell.
daughters, everybody, all
But
of
is
us.
he nice to his
Oh,
girls?
he's great.
He adores
is,
your daughters?
He is. He's yes.
No, I mean his women that work for him.
Yes,
And where does he live?
Central California.
Oh, so you'd have to go to California. I bet he is cute.
The weather's great.
And then
Yeah,
we'll talk
like
about
this.
this.
This
We'll have it
aligns
next
with
week, yeah.
what I do for a living. You know what I mean? So
What
there's
do
a
you
lot
do
of
for a
Well,
living?
and what is and mainly you want people that's why don't you want people to feel freedom in what this swinging life that you do? You
For
want
sure.
we didn't even hit that.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Or even in your relationship in general, like be
Be with your people.
Be
Yeah.
who you want to be.
Yes.
Be who you want to be.
and it's
Yeah.
okay if
God,
if it
that's so
doesn't
true.
just
It's
move on if that
okay.
person's not for you.
It's
yeah, don't
okay.
settle. Don't settle.
Don't settle. That's you know what?
Cheers.
That's why I'm single.
Yep.
Because I'm never gonna settle.
Same.
He's gonna have it all. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's gonna add to my
Yeah.
life.
Otherwise,
you
I'll
know?
just live with Kelly one day. We'll just be Golden Girls.
Thank you guys so much for having me here.
You know what, Jen? Pineapple Jen, you have been such a delight. We want to
Thank
have you
you.
back on.
Yes.
We are so
Yeah,
excited.
and if
about our
anyone knows how to help you
conversation.
get your TikTok where you're not getting banned, reach out to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What,
Like
where
don't-
can they find
I'm
you?
not the person to call, but you definitely have been a joy.
Yeah, thank
And we
you.
want to thank you, and we're so
Thank
grateful
you.
for you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes,
so
thank
We hope
you.
you'll
much.
come
I love
back.
it. Of course I'll come back.
It's been a pleasure. So
Thank
so
you.
fun. Yeah.
Oh, where can everybody find your little TikToks that gone viral, the ones that didn't? We just keep making
it's
them happen.
pineapple_JENN4.
Perfect.
Nice.
Guys, you got it? Everybody go follow Jen. She's the girl. If you want to learn about swinging or swunging or swinging under,
Swanging.
you
You
got
wanna
it.
learn about the
Swinging.
pineapple
She's
life?
just a swinging.